Greetings, adventurers, and welcome to Double Advantage, a D&D podcast where half of us have no idea what's going on at any given moment. It's complete and utter chaos, but guess what? We love it. I am your Dungeon Master, John, and along with me, like always, are my beautiful friends, so let's go ahead and get them introduced, starting with the one and only Mr. Blazing Torchic.
Hello everybody, my name is Blazing Torchic, and in this beautiful campaign, I play the character Malon Sakato, a male wood elf rogue who summons these psychic knives, can do loads of telekinesis, and hopefully later on, could do lots more cool things. And I would like to clarify, I was misunderstood last episode. I did not mean to say I was carrying the team, I just couldn't find the word I was looking for.
Oh, okay, covering your ass. All right, I get it. It's okay.
I didn't mean to say that, but yeah, I have very good companion who helps me out a lot, especially last episode.
And that companion is the one and only BryceKrispie.
What's up, guys? BryceKrispie here. I play Volstagg the Forgotten, the half-orc Circle of the Moon druid. You can catch me wild shaping into wolves, bears, toads, squirrels, hopefully soon birds. Depends on how soon we get to that level, I guess. But yeah, Mr. Carey and the team, I think I put in some good work last episode. If you haven't checked that out yet, definitely go, because as Cryo always said, it was a doozy of an episode.
Oh yeah, it was monstrous. So go ahead, check it out. Check out their links down in the description, doing some great stuff. It's November for Bryce, and Torchic's doing some really nice streams. So go ahead, check that all out. It's a blast, so show some love. But a couple of announcements before we get into it all. Our continued collaboration with the lovebracelet.org, helping to fight against domestic violence. Go ahead and use coupon code ADVANTAGEDOUBLE for 30% off your purchase. And if you get yourself a wonderful bracelet, go ahead and tweet us a picture. We'll retweet it, and it will be awesome. And, of course, special shout out to the Renny, Texas, not only for being the artist of the show, one of the artists of the show, but for being Chris Farley Amadeus for these last few episodes. It was a blast, and much love to him, but also much love to our other artists, Carl Uber and Mitch Ninja. Without all of them, none of this would be possible, so very grateful to them. But yeah, anything else before we get into it?
No, I believe I don't have anything.
Okay. All right, well, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into episode 31 of Double Advantage. Up, not so fast there, past John. Hello, everybody, future John in editing here to tell you that we were dumb and forgot to make you guys aware of the fact that this is going to be the last episode of Double Advantage for the 2021 year. We have a lot of things in the works that we're really excited to bring to the table, and in order to do that, unfortunately, we're going to need to take a little bit of time off. So for the entire month of December, I hit the mic. For the entire month of December and for the rest of the year, we are going to be on a hiatus. We're going to take a little bit of an early holiday break, so to speak, to start hammering out some of the kinks to make sure that we provide you guys with a quality final result for what we are envisioning for the next chapter of Double Advantage. But the good news here is that, if I'm correct, there are 31 days in the month of December, and there are 31 episodes currently of Double Advantage. So, if you got some friends or family members who are interested in taking a part in watching the show, now would be a perfect time. Or if you want to go back and watch the entire series, now is the perfect time to do that. It's gonna suck not having content out, and it really does hurt me a little bit, because I really enjoy editing these and putting these out, but in order to do what we do best, we need some time. So we hope you guys understand. We love you guys very much. Have a great holiday. Have a great rest of the year. And we'll see you guys fresh at the start of the new year. So, boys, take it away. In the last episode, the Lightbreakers had to face something unlike they've ever witnessed before. Their quote-unquote companion, Chris Farley Amadeus, decided that it was time to unveil his plan, to betray them, so that he may get away with having to kill less people due to the pact he made with a higher power. He used his manipulation tactics to convince a group of Duergar to fight along his side, and that he was kidnapped by a half-orc and an elf, and that he needed to be saved. A combat ensued after Amadeus sent an eldritch blast at Quellen, Sakato's wolf companion. Knives were thrown, earth was erupted, ice knives were thrown, and a battle culminated into a finale of Volstagg turning into a giant toad, leaping over his erupted earth, and swallowing Chris Farley Amadeus, and then spitting him out as he had his last final moments to breathe the underdark air. And he chose to turn into Volstagg's father, Hogun, as his body crumbled away into ash, and it looked like fiery hands were pulling him down into the earth. And as you stand there, filled with rage, anger, betrayal, you look over and you see those mushroom people lying on the ground. You look over, Sakado, and you can see Quellen currently just still. And that Durgar, the last remaining Durgar, is just standing there, silent and motionless. What would you like to do?
Okay. Psychic Whispers on the last remaining Durgar. And
Okay.
that'll be lasting for 4 hours.
Okay. What do you say?
Make any movements without us telling you. And break this or you're dead. Oh, wait, no. Break this and you're dead.
Go ahead and make an intimidation check with advantage, because when somebody speaks in your mind, that shit's fucking scary.
Yeah. I got a bit tongue-tied there. That's a natural 20.
Okay. The Durgar just stands still, makes no movement, and just... You watch as he was currently in this enlarged form just shrinks back down to his, 4-foot size.
No, stay there and I'll just rush over to Quellen.
Okay, you rush over to Quellen.
Well, Quellen, are you okay?
You come up to him, kind of getting down on your knees, and you place your hand on his stomach, and you can see the singe marks, the burned fur from the Eldritch Blast, and you kind of touch it gently with your hand, and as you do, you watch as the eye of Quellen just ever so slightly opens.
Oh, thank goodness you're still alive. Oh, that's one relief at least. Volstagg, get over here quick.
I'll hop over to him. Once I get to him, I'll revert form and then cast Healing Word at level 2.
Okay. Go ahead and roll for the health.
That is going to be 10.
Alright, so you basically put your hand right over where Sakado's is, and you watch as from your fingertips these vines just emerge and wrap around, kind of revitalizing Quellen and bringing a bit more life into his body and into his lungs. And you can already tell that he is looking better. While still looking malnourished, he is looking like how he did when you first arrived here.
I will stand up, turn to the Duergar, and cast Ice Knife at 3rd level.
Okay. Go ahead and roll for it.
While he does that, Sakado's go, wait, Volstagg, no!
17.
Yeah, that's gonna hit. Roll damage.
Okay.
Damn it.
Oh wait, why'd that only roll?
He's gone.
10 damage just on the... That's the piercing, right?
Yeah, that's just the piercing.
Yeah, so you watch as you just... Volstagg kind of... You're still looking down at Quellen. You just hold your hand out, and it almost looks like the shard of ice comes out under your sleeve and just barely underneath your wrist and just shoots out, pierces him in the chest, and you watch as he drops to his knees, and then it just explodes in his chest, these shards of ice just leaving this giant hole where his stomach used to be, as he just flops down and lies on the ground lifeless.
Can I roll ice damage?
Yeah, roll ice damage.
It is 4d6.
You want this thing to die.
I just
I'm
want to know how much
assuming-
it's going to do. Wow, that was Kind of
Yeah.
bad. 9.
Ooh.
Yeah, you could see where the hole, he's kind of lying on his side. The hole that was kind of just blown from his chest just has icicles all around it.
I'll then walk over to the mushroom people, and I kind of want to just see if any of them are alive still.
Go ahead and make medicine check. I'll just make a general medicine check.
All right. 23.
Okay. You go ahead and you walk up to one. This one is so. As you walk up, you immediately see that there are these fungus creatures. They look as if they're made from these intertwining mushroom roots and like almost like vines. Think Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy, but instead of wood, it's mushroom. And kind of just intertwining, they have various different smaller mushrooms growing on the shoulders and the arms and the legs. And it all culminates into, the heads are varied, but some have your general mushroom cap-like top, or some have these pointed tops. You see one, this more of a feminine physique, you would describe. Skinnier, a little bit on the smaller side. Still pretty tall, about 6 feet. And you go ahead and you try to feel for any sign of breath, and you touch the body, and it's slightly colder than a body should be. And you don't feel a pulse, and you don't feel a breath. And you feel as though the life has left the body. And you go over and you touch another one. It's this kind of hardy, still slender, more of a male physique, with kind of these red accents. The other one, the first one that had passed away, has got these white mushrooms kind of growing. This has more of a red, like a deep maroon red texture. And you go ahead and you touch the wrist, and you can feel a pulse.
I'll go ahead and cast Healing Word on it at first level.
Okay, go ahead and roll for health.
8.
Okay, you go ahead and you speak this. What do you say to fill their ears with health?
Come back to us.
Okay, and you watch as these vines kind of cut, like these mushroom vines kind of start to encapsulate the body, almost propping the head up. And as it does, you watch as the eyes begin to open. These solid black beady pupils just open up and look at you and say nothing at first. And you look over and you can see that there is a slightly bigger mushroom creature, more beefy, more bulky, definitely would be considered like a bodybuilder type physique. Much taller, and kind of has these purple, like almost violet like mushroom spores kind of growing all about. And that one, if you go over to touch it, does have breath, or you can see their chests inflating and deflating.
All right, I will also heal it.
Okay. You go ahead and you heal it, and same thing, these mushrooms begin to kind of sprout from underneath, kind of like a bed of mushroom, kind of propping them up. This one was kind of laying up against the wall, and just kind of like sitting there, and you could see that the eyes, once again, these beady black eyes just gently wake. And you can see them both looking. Sakura, what are you doing while this is happening?
I'm just making sure Quellen's okay.
Okay. Quellen's fine. Definitely a bit roughed up, and while he has the maximum amount of energy he can, it's still a toll on his body, and you slowly try to get him up. He stands, and you look over and you can see that Volstagg is currently tending to these mushroom people.
Volstagg, are they alive over there?
I have 2 back to somewhat healthiness, but I'm afraid the 3rd is lifeless.
Well, 2's better than nothing.
And you watch as the one that was more of a general physique begins to slowly stand up. This, about 6'2" stature, and you watch as the big muscular one also begins to stand up, and as they do, you watch as the thinner one kind of puts both of their hands together, and as they do, you can see that kind of just out of the body, out of the skin of this creature, these spores begin to slowly drift out of the skin, and they float around and kind of create this wreath around your head and around your head, Sakura. And as they kind of coalesce, they kind of form into this wreath, a crown. I don't know the word I was thinking, but a crown kind of around your head. And you don't see any mouths on these creatures. It is just eyes. But you hear a voice in your head. All of you, the 2 of you. Thank you for saving us. It is not every day you find people such as yourselves down here, let alone willing to risk their lives.
I guess I'm gonna speak out loud, but also think what I'm saying, because I'm not sure obviously how these guys communicate. So I'm just gonna say both out loud and in my head. I'm sorry for your friend, but I'm glad that some good came from this encounter. And then I'll
okay.
I was gonna say at the same time I'll just kind of a druid craft a trying to think here, I don't want to druid craft a mushroom because I think that would be kind of weird. So I'll just druid craft a flower, like a tulip.
Okay. You go ahead.
Similar in color to one of them, and hand it.
You watch as this big, fungus hand just grabs it gently and says, from the surface world, it is quite rare to see one of these down here. Thank you. As for our friend, you say they are no longer with us.
From my knowledge, yes. But I'm very unfamiliar with your species.
It is quite all right. We do not expect you to. Yes, it is most likely that they have moved on from this world. But they will be given a proper burial. And you watch as the muscular one goes over, kind of picks up the more, not frail, but the skinnier, more lanky one, kind of like bride style, kind of carries it. And you watch as they're holding them, and then they turn, and a different voice, presumably from the muscular one, says, "It is a shame. It is a shame that we could not save them. But at least we are alive to return them to our home."
I'll ask back, how far from here is your home?
You see the more, we'll call it neutral, the more neutral looking one steps up and says, I presume about a day and a half. We may have gotten ahead of ourselves and stumbled a bit too far. That is our own consequence. But if you would, we would like to take you to our home as thanks and gratitude.
I kind of look back to Sakato and kind of give one of those, like, what do you think looks?
I don't know. They could, for all we know, just stab us in the back.
Can I insight check them?
Sure. What exactly are you insight checking? What are you looking
Mostly
for?
just like if they're actually genuine about thanking us
Okay.
in their home.
Okay.
Sakato would also like to insight check the fact that they're taking us back to their home.
Okay, so Volstag's insight checking to see if they're thankful. Sakato's checking to see if they truly do want to take them back home.
Yeah, 16 for mine.
At 20.
Okay, we'll start with Sakato. You do believe that they wish to take you to their home. For what, you do not know. But they do seem genuine in that regard, that they do wish to take you somewhere. Volstagg, you can tell that whilst there is no physical appearance to deduce emotion, there are no smiles, there are no frowns, the cadence and the voice and the way in which they talk to you gives you very heartfelt gratitude. They seem genuinely thankful, yet in sorrow that not all of them could have made it. And they do want to provide you with something as a thanks.
I just turn to Sakato. I feel these are genuine creatures. I think we'll be safe. And I also feel, given the state we are in, the state Quellen is in, it may be best to go with them as a group before we return to the surface.
I don't know. I'll go, but I don't trust anything right now. It's too. Yeah, I'll go.
And you watch as the neutral one moves a little closer towards Sakato and Quellen with hands raised and speaks into your mind. We know not what you deliberate, as we do not understand your spoken language. But I can see that you are injured to certain various degrees, and your companion seems to be worse for wear. We have practitioners who can help the healing process. We mean no malice. We mean no harm. We only mean to be thankful.
That you may be, but given the circumstances we've just come from, I will have to be doubtful.
It is understandable. I sense great grief and sorrow in your hearts. I understand if you wish to return to your surface world. But we put the offer on the table.
I just kind of tell them, like, I point to the pile of ash on the ground, and I go, that was a friend of ours. Or so we thought. He's the entire reason we're in the shape we are in.
Betrayal.
Yes.
A not quite uncommon thing amongst many of the species that inhabit this world. Our condolences to you.
Thank you.
Must not be easy.
It is not, and I know that is why my friend there is weary of travel, but I do trust you.
And that is appreciated. And we understand that our trust has to be earned. You have earned ours by saving us. We only hope to earn yours. And
Thank you for that.
kind of steps towards you a little more, Volstagg, as you are the primary engager in the conversation, and holds out this giant fungal fist and says to you, "My name is Ovi. This is Ulor," points to the muscular one, "and that was Yida."
I am Volstagg. That is Sakado. And our canine friend is Quellen.
It is a pleasure to meet you all. We are what the surface world refers to as myconids. Fungus creatures that have dwelled in the Underdark for centuries.
I was somewhat aware of your species, but I did not know your name.
Not many do, as we tend to keep to ourselves. The Underdark can be a ravenous place, and we tend to stick to the side of peace and neutrality. Best we can. Unlike instances like this, where we are ambushed by Duragar, and we lose some of our own.
I know a thing or two about losing some of your own.
I sense grief in your heart. I sense loss in all of your hearts. We are but the same.
We are.
Just in different forms. I understand. We understand if you need a moment to think, converse. I believe it is best for us as well, after enduring such vigorous activities, to rest as well. We can provide you with the space you need, and if you so choose, we will happily guide you to our home.
I turn to Sakado and go, well, these guys may be key on learning where your powers come from, considering how they're talking to us.
There was also that Durgar, which I stabbed. He didn't look too shocked at what happened, so I can assume he might have experienced such a thing before.
Yes. Which we can always check the bodies of the Duergar for any sort of, well, anything really. It's not like they're gonna fight back.
Part of me wishes they could.
I think they got what they deserved. I just kind of stare over at the one who's completely smashed by vines and the other who is got a hole through their stomach.
Yeah. Well, looks like following them is the best option, I guess.
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, seems like it.
Are we still able to communicate with the mycenoids?
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay. I'll turn to them and go. We would like to accompany you to your home.
Well, we will be pleased to have you, and it will be wondrous to show you where we come from. It is not every day surface dwellers are invited to view our home, as most who dwell here tend to be malicious. Yet you two have saved us, and for that, we are grateful.
I'm glad you feel that way. Before we go, I would like to look over the fallen enemies and our old foe, just to see if anything of value or use.
Okay. There is no body left of Amadeus.
There's like ash, right?
There's just ash. You can sift through the ash, and there's nothing.
Okay,
It
I want
all-
some of the ash.
Okay. Take some of the ash. You can write Amadeus's ashes. And you go ahead and you loot the Duragar bodies, and collectively you find 25 silver, 35 gold, and all of their war picks.
So, like, what, 3 war picks?
3 war picks.
A little gross, but it's for research purposes. I want a finger.
Okay. Easy enough.
All right.
Just chop off a finger. You can see that the myconids are intently just keeping an eye, analyzing, and you hear in your voice, "For what is the finger for?"
I turn to them. We have an acquaintance on the surface world who is doing research on the Underdark. And I'm not sure what exactly it is for, but I know some blood and maybe some tissue would be very beneficial for him.
Would you require that of us?
I would never take anything of that would hurt you.
I think that may be arranged, but first, we should head to our home,
Agreed.
where we may rest, all of us, a chance to truly recover from our own individual trauma. And you watch as
Sakato would just like to pick up the body of the Duragar he stabbed and just throw it against the wall.
Okay. Just tosses it against the wall. You can see some of the blood just kind of hits. It's almost this gray blood that just splatters up against the wall.
That feels better, I will say. And I'll just join the rest of the group.
Would you suggest we rest here or continue forward?
I looked at him. Well, I feel like you guys are worse for wear than us. Do you need a moment to rest, or do you think we could walk for a bit and then rest? We're very unfamiliar with this area. So I don't know if there's... Oh, go on.
No, this terrain is very familiar to us. We know the ins and the outs. We just made the mistake of straying too far. But yes, we can be your guides, and we rest when you rest.
Well, you say you strayed too far, so maybe we rest farther away from this place, more towards your home. For safety purposes.
I believe that is an intelligent idea. Let us be on then. As long as it is still okay with you. And looks at you, Sakato.
I guess it's okay. Just don't try anything.
Just gingerly turns around, begins to walk forward. As the legs move, the vines, or the roots of the mushroom, kind of twist and curl, kind of moving along with the rest of the body as one solid, coherent mass, and begins to guide all of you further down the tunnels of the Underdark. So, if somebody would like to give advantage to Ovi as they lead you further down the path, they are going to make a a survival check to trek forward.
I'll give advantage.
Okay.
I'll give advantage too.
All right, that is going to be an 18.
Ooh.
And you watch as you guys begin to trek. And as you get further and further down, tunnels begin to split. And they begin to lead you down each path with purpose, with recognition. And after a few hours, they get to this point, still in a long, narrow tunnel, where Ovi turns around and says, I believe this is reasonable for a night's rest.
All right. What do we see in this area?
It's relatively the same as what you've been in. It's a tunnel. It's dark. It's damp. It's hard to breathe.
You said it was like purplish black rock,
like
right?
a purplish gray rock. Yeah.
Purplish gray rock. Okay. Volstagg will just like look around. Sure.
It is not much, but most of the Underdark is quite like this. And begins to kind of sit down and prop his back and head up against the wall. You can see that Ulor does the same and kind of gently lays the body of Yida down beside them. And they just begin to sit and watch. What do the two of you want to do?
I want sleep.
Okay.
So I might tell them I'm going to rest and to wake me when it's my turn for watch.
Of course. Hopefully rest meets you well and healing begins to occur. And they look over at you, Sakato. Are you to rest as well?
I'll just nod.
So be it. We will keep a watchful eye. And you watch as they begin to kind of look around. So, do the two of you go to sleep?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, the two of you will get long rests. And, Sakato, you begin to enter your trance. Quellen in your lap for the first time, fully trusting you. You begin to finally let your body relax for the first time after this almost painful emotion running through your body. And you close your eyes, and you're just in your head. just as you are normally meditating, when you hear a voice in your head, you wish to bring your dad back from the dead, hmm? You feel great grief and sorrow for not being able to save him or say goodbye. So you took it out on those who were responsible, shedding as much blood as necessary to get your point across.
Who are you?
That is my type of person. You know, Amadeus had great promise. A man down on his luck, who would do anything to bring back someone he loved. The two of you are quite similar, yet one aspect distinguishes you. You are stronger than Amadeus ever was. He was no match for you, and your passion and anger culminated into something far greater than he ever possessed. He needed my power in order to accomplish his goals. You, Melarn Sakudo, don't need my power, but you could use my help. You want to speak to your father one last time? I can help you.
Or do I trust you?
You don't have to. You're broken. You're beaten. You're battered. You don't need to trust me. But I know I can trust you. You are something different. You have the potential to accomplish what you set out to do. Amadeus was not worthy of my benevolence, but you are. I trust you. You don't have to trust me.
You think you're winning me over with your sweet words. You're not. You really think I would trust the person who gave power to that who betrayed me?
In hindsight,
You really?
he wasn't my best pick in the world, but I saw promise in him. You, 1,000 times better than anything he could ever accomplish to be. But if you do not wish to partake, so be it. There are plenty of souls like yours that are in need of assistance. I thought I'd give you a chance. No strings attached. A favor for a favor. But if you do not want to partake, be that what it may.
Like hell, no strings attached. There's no way you would do that.
You don't know anything about me.
And you clearly misjudged my character.
Your character is all over the place. I don't even think you know your character.
Yet you thought you could strike a deal with me.
Oh, you mistake this for a deal. This is not a deal. Deals involve contracts, and deals are for devils. This is a simple favor for a favor. No contract to be signed, no soul to be sold. It is as simple as that. Amadeus was stupid enough to sign whatever I gave him. You are smarter than he. And I know you wouldn't sell your soul for such a menial task.
And you say you can let me have last words to my father?
Indeed.
My father died 7 years ago. There's nothing more I can say to him.
Well, then it seems that our conversation is done. I will find someone else who I can grant their wishes. But if you change your mind, I'll be around.
If you wanted me to accept this, you should have came to me 7 years earlier when I still believed I could bring him back.
7
I'm not
years
so
ago,
foolish.
you were broken. You wandered the world empty and heartless, trying to find some purpose, and now you do. You have something far greater than any person I have ever seen. Wouldn't you want your father to see you now?
See me for the murderer I am. Would my father be proud of that? No, he wouldn't.
Well, it seems your mind is made up.
My mind was made up 9 years ago when I slew them.
So be it. Good luck, Sakura. And may the world treat you with greatness before you die. And
Piss off, you son of a bitch.
just everything fades out of your head, and you kind of wake up out of your trance. You feel rested, while be it quite uncomfortable and unnerved. But you do exit your trance, and Volstagg is still asleep, and you can see that the Myconids are taking watch and see that you have awakened. And you watch as these spores spread out and cling to your head once more. Everything all right?
I think the business with our old friend is finished.
Very well. Then the healing phase may commence. Hopefully you are on the path to recovery.
It won't take me 2 years like last time. This one I can move on quick.
Well, I hope that it all works out for the best. And
Yes.
if you don't mind, we would like to get our rest.
No worries. Thank you for your watch.
Of course. And they begin to you watch as their eyes begin to close. And go ahead and make a perception check with disadvantage due to just how dark and uncomfortable this place is.
Okay, disadvantage. Oh, 21. Damn.
Okay, damn, that's pretty good. You go ahead, you keep an eye out. It's quiet. Eerily quiet. From time to time, you can hear the slight water droplets dropping from the ceiling. But other than that, there's nothing around. You can't really see anything. And you keep your ears out and you don't hear footsteps. You don't hear anything that could lead you to believe that you are being compromised. And eventually, about halfway through your watch, Volstagg, you exit the realm of rest, and you can see Sakura currently taking a watch, being about just more perceptive than you would have guessed.
I really won't acknowledge it now.
Okay.
But I'll just kind of not really give like angry eyes, but curious eyes towards him.
Okay. Sakura, you watch as Volstagg begins to stir awake and makes eye contact with you.
Good morning. Oh, well. Whatever it is.
Yeah, I too kind of wonder if it is truly morning. Being in the dark really messes with you.
Yes, it does.
This is like my watch time, right? Or is it?
No, he is taking his watch. You just happen to wake up
Oh, okay.
because his
Alright.
sleep is only half yours.
Right, okay. I looking over at the myconoids and see they're asleep and look back to Sakato and say, I do think we can trust them.
We thought that of Amadeus too.
There were warning signs with Amadeus. But instead of taking them, we bonded over them because of our own grief. We should have known better than to trust someone who would sell their soul.
That is true.
I think that blame lies on us more so than him. That being said, he's still an asshole.
Can
And he
agree to
tasted
that.
like shit.
Well, that's good to hear. Through and through.
You would think a man that ate so many pies would not taste so bad.
Well, can't say much for eating people. Not too knowledgeable on what food you eat, inflicting on the taste you have.
That's fair. And I just kind of remember that Sakato doesn't really get jokes.
You're in your head like, man, that was a good one. Yeah.
Okay.
And
The
you-
mushroom people would have liked it.
Can mushrooms understand jokes? What a concept.
Yeah.
And eventually you watch as the myconids begin to stir awake from their slumber and look at you. The spores still attached, and you can see Ovi perk up. Anything on your watch?
Apart from darkness, bit of dripping and darkness, no.
The 4Ds. Darkness, dripping, and darkness. That's all the Underdark is, at least in this particular region. Where we're headed, it is much more pleasant. That I can guarantee. Come,
Well, I
let's
hope
get
so.
going then.
let us be on our way. The grove awaits us. And you watch as they begin to stand up. And you can see that... my throat. You can see as Ulor picks up Yida once more and begins to... all of them make their way further down the cavernous region of the Underdark. So, once again, Ovi is going to take the charge here with a survival check. So if someone wants to give him advantage or let him roll straight, or let them roll straight.
Yeah, I'll give him advantage.
All right. That is a natural 20.
Oh, damn.
So even more so than the previous day, they were moving with purpose. They were moving with gusto. And even now, you can tell that they are getting closer and closer to where they belong, because it is, while they are being guiding, they're not leaving you in the dust. Their movements are precise, rapid, quick, and calculated. These are very, just from your interaction thus far with them, they are very intelligent, they are very wise, they are very knowledgeable, and they understand this region that they live in so well. And eventually you make way to this kind of outcropping. This larger, the first larger cavern you've been in, and it immediately just fills you with this sense of happiness to know that it's not just tunnels forever. You finally reach this cavernous entrance, and Ovi stops and says, The road ahead may be quite difficult, but we're almost there. And you can see that they kind of point their hand out towards so it basically is the tunnel you've been traveling this entire time leads into like this kind of a triangle shaped cavern, much wider, much taller. And you can see that there is another offshoot passage, not like directly in front of where you came from, but kind of to the left. And they point out, and you can see that it is this gigantic chasm that goes down deeper than you can even see. It's almost like a ravine, like as if the world was split right here at this point, leaving this gigantic, deep cavern. And they say, scaling downwards will be quite the hassle. But if you follow our lead and move slowly, no harm should come to any of us.
I'm looking at something real quick on my character sheet.
No worries.
It's going to be like difficult to navigate, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna have to do a lot of scaling down and like downward rock climbing.
Okay. Let me... Alright, I'm gonna go ahead, I think, in wild shape. But I'm trying to figure out which one I want to wild shape into. I have a couple I could use.
Okay.
Maybe I don't have as many as I thought. Alright, yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and wild shape into a giant wolf spider.
Okay, terrifying.
Yeah.
All right, you go ahead and you transform into a giant wolf spider, and you see this is the first time the Myconids have seen this. There is, if you could read a face that didn't have a mouth, you could see that there is a visual, not a shock, but a wonder, and you can hear Ulor, the muscular one, say, "Ovi, why can't you do that? That would be extremely useful." And you can see Ovi. "Not everyone is gifted, Ulor. But thank you for rubbing it in." And just kind of, if you could see a muscular mushroom smile and a relatively skinny one be upset, that's what you would see. But so, okay, you go ahead and turn into a wolf spider, and you begin to just make your descent?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and I have webbing? I don't. I have web sense. I can't make my own webbing.
I think all spiders can make web. It'll probably take a while though.
Yeah. I was just gonna kind of like try and, as I'm climbing down, leave a web rope, so that way Sakato and Quellen could like hold on to it.
I don't know if it would be strong enough.
Yes,
Well,
it
it wasn't-
would be pretty fragile.
Yeah.
I feel like spiderweb's fragile. They Avi or Ovi, to use Sakato, offers to carry Quellen down.
Oh, I should have done spider because giant spiders actually have web. Wolf spiders don't.
Got it.
I know for the future.
I'll begrudgingly accept, just like, don't you dare hurt him. He's been through enough already.
Nothing will come to your canine, no harm. Or to you and your friend. I can guarantee you. Kind of holds him in this arm. The mushrooms kind of wrap around and seem to grow and enlarge to kind of give him a nice secure spot as he begins to climb down. So Sakura, how are you? Are you just going to go ahead and climb down?
Yep.
Okay, go ahead and make an acrobatics check for me. Because you have the wall climb, you're fine, Volstagg. You're good. It shouldn't be a problem for you.
Yeah, I was gonna say I can climb difficult surfaces, including upside down,
Yeah,
without needing ability check.
Perfect, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're fine.
Oh, so close to nat 20, 19.
19. Perfectly fine. You watch as Volstagg, you're the first to reach the bottom. It's a long descent. It's probably about 1,000 feet down.
Oof.
And you begin to become confused as you already traveled quite a distance downwards. And this 1,000 feet descent, you feel like this should not be possible. That you're beginning to reach deadly levels of existence. But it's fine. The lack of oxygen is still there. It's very much present. But it doesn't get any worse. And you're the first to reach the bottom, and you watch as the myconids begin to scale down the cavern. You watch as their limbs grow and extend to great lengths to kind of grab hold of different rocks to begin to descend downwards. And as they reach the bottom, their feet begin to kind of grasp and kind of meld into the ground. And you touch down on the ground, and it is soil, or at least what you imagine soil would be like if it never saw the light of day. And Sakura, you eventually reach down, and as you step down, for the first time, you kind of see this dust and dirt kind of come up as your feet touch the ground. And
Well, I assume we're at the bottom.
And you have reached the bottom, yes. And you could see that Ovi releases Quellen onto the ground. Gently.
Thank you.
Of course, as I promised. Now, we're almost there. And I warn you, it is going to be a marvelous sight. And begins to trek forwards. And the two of you follow suit, I presume?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm still a spider, by the way.
Okay,
I'm
that's
gonna
fine.
probably stay in spider form until it runs out.
Alright, the two of you make perception checks, both with disadvantage because it's pitch black.
I have dark vision.
Dark vision.
Or I have blind sight.
Oh, okay, you're fine. Dark vision
Yeah.
is interesting because you still are only seeing in shades of gray. So technically that would provide disadvantage because you wouldn't be able to differentiate color and shades and stuff like that. But for you with blind sight, that's just going to be straight roll. Because I think blind sight just is straight up just you can see like clearly. Oh, natural 20 and a 2.
Hold up.
Is it cocked again?
I kid you not, it's cocked between a 2 and a nat 20.
That's like the 4th time. Oh shit, it is.
There's the proof.
Yeah, roll it again. That's crazy. What the hell?
Okay, I'll take the nat 20 in another D 20. So 14 plus 6, 20.
Okay.
I'm trying to. I can't remember. Do I use my perception or the spider's perception?
I believe you use yours.
Okay.
Because I think you keep all mental aspects, and so wisdom.
Okay,
and
yeah,
all
yeah,
that
yeah.
would be mental.
You've got 8 eyes, put them to use.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Is
This
it
is just a
do
perception
ones?
check, right?
Yeah, just
Yeah.
a standard perception check.
Okay. 11.
Okay. So you're keeping an eye out, but being so low to the ground, you can't really tell. It's kind of difficult. And Sakado, while you can barely see differentiating factors, you don't hear anything. You hear the footsteps of your feet in the dirt, but other than that, there's nothing. And eventually, how long does Wild Shape last?
I believe an hour.
Okay.
You can stay. Oh, 3 hours.
3 hours. Okay. So you travel for about 5 more hours. So it would come out. You would come out of that form, and eventually, you start to see the first glimpse of light since you've been down here. And you're kind of walking through, basically similar to what you were walking through before, where it was kind of a narrow passage, but the ceiling is 1,000 feet tall. You can look up and it goes all the way up. So it feels less claustrophobic, at least vertically. Horizontally, it's still a bit tight. But eventually you begin to see this glimpse, this essence of light, just beyond the barrier. And you can see that, unlike sunlight, which provides this warm, radiating heat, and this white or yellow or orange color, you can see these colors of green, purple, blue. And as you turn a corner, you see in front of you this extensive stretch of land covered by towering mushrooms that are bioluminescent, lighting up in purples, greens, blues, and creating the first natural light that you have seen in the Underdark. And Ovi turns to you and says, "Welcome to Caesarius, the region within the Underdark that is home to us and provides us with what we need to survive in the terrors that rest here. Isn't it beautiful?"
Yes. Extremely beautiful.
Quite a sight.
Nothing else like this in the entirety of the Underdark. This is what we call home.
I don't think there's anything like this in the entirety of the world.
I doubt it. We take pride in what we have, and we do what we can to ensure that nothing is tarnished. But we are humble. The entirety of Caesarius is not ours to own. We only reside in a small portion of it, which we call the Lumen Grove. That is where we will be able to bury our companion, and we can provide your canine with a bit of nurturing, hopefully nursing them back to proper health. But feel free to take a look around.
All right. I guess I'm blown back by the visual. I'm like imagining just like walking out into this world full of just vibrant, beautiful colors and just.
And these are gigantic mushrooms. I'm talking 300, 400, 500 feet tall mushrooms that still don't reach the 1,000-foot ceilings, but they go up for just, it is towering. It is awe-inspiring, and quite frankly, like you said, unlike anything that you have ever seen or read about. You know of these mushroom people, Volstagg, but you did not know that where they lived was so vibrant, so lively. It's almost as if you're not in the Underdark as to all of the things that have been told to you about the Underdark in the last recent days. But there you are.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take it all in and try to think here. I'd like to inquire about fresh water.
Fresh water? Okay.
Yes. I'm just curious because I'm getting a little low, and the pup there would probably enjoy it. But are there streams or some sort of running water? Or...
Yes. As we get closer to the Lumen Grove, there is plenty of streams that pass through. It is part of the reason we settled there all those years ago.
I assumed something like this couldn't survive without some flow of constant water, but it's also the Underdark.
Well, every day is a new day for new discoveries. But, yes, we can provide you with what you need. Don't you worry. And these mushrooms that you see, they provide sustenance. Believe it or not.
I've been known to eat some mushrooms in my day, so I can believe it.
Well, I think you will be quite surprised by some of the things you see here.
I look forward to you showing them to us.
Well, let us get to the grove first before we do anything. I believe we have plenty of business to all take care of. And so begins to lead you further, and you look around and you can see so much beauty in a place that is described as horrendous. You almost feel as if this is some kind of fever dream, that this should not exist, but still it does. And as you begin to make your way deeper and deeper into Cicerius, Volstagg, which is surprising to you, and this whole thing is extremely surprising to you due to how fond you are of nature, you begin to see what you presume to be insects living down here. These bioluminescent, moth-like creatures. Relatively larger than a regular moth. Probably about the size of birds, like a small sparrow. Beginning to fly and flutter by. You can see one kind of pass by your head, kind of grazing up against your cheek as they begin to fly and float through. It's amazing. It almost seems like it defies all that you know about nature. How could something live down here? How could something so beautiful live down here? And Sakura, one of them lands on your ear. Kind of just sitting there.
What were these again?
These, to you, look to be like these, like a mixture between a moth and a butterfly, but the entire essence of it is glowing, like very similar to the way that the mushrooms are growing, or glowing, I mean.
I'll just kind of like swipe it off.
Kind of just touch it gently and it begins to move away. You can hear Ovi say, "Those are the lumen moths. They are natural specimen here, similar to us. They thrive here and they're beautiful."
They are quite good to look at. Guys, just like watching them float around.
They are quite nice as well. They are peaceful creatures, like us. They go about their days and continue forward.
I turned to my. Are there other insects like them?
Not of this caliber, no. There are definitely some insects around, yes, but none that glow. If that is what you're implying.
Yes. Which brings me to another question. Are there predators out here?
You strike me as a man connected to nature. Am I correct?
Only a little, as I grow a mushroom in my hand.
Yes. As with everything that lives in every environment and every structure, there are predators, yes. In terms of these insects. In terms of us, the predators are the rest of the humanoids that preside in the more treacherous places of the Underdark.
Okay. That makes me feel a little better.
It is unnerving, but Duragar and the like, Drow, they have an extensive history of hunting us down in order to consume our flesh, which is quite sustainable for them. So, we are the hunted as well. That is why we take so kindly to these moths. We are one and the same.
How does your city protect itself? Do you have an army?
Well, you see, these mushrooms, whilst are not on the same caliber as sunlight, they deter the precarious individuals who decide to consume us. That is why we reside here now as we do. We needed to escape their grasp, escape their hunt. And they do not follow us in here. They wait until we leave and are unaware so that they may ambush us. But living here for thousands of years without exploring the world would be a disservice to ourselves. So, we venture. But we don't venture too far, or else, well, I believe you understand.
I do.
So, you are safe here. Nothing shall come here searching to hunt you down.
Well, let's go see this city.
Right. It is just a few more miles. And after a little bit of time, you come across this even more beautiful area of Cicerius. You begin to see those creeks of water that Ovi was talking about. Fresh water. You can hear it just rushing through. You can see that on the ground there is this bioluminescent moss that you are beginning to walk on. It covers the hills and valleys of this area. The mushrooms tower up tall. And you can see further down that the insides of these thicker mushrooms are hollowed out to create homes, and they tower up tall. They create these platforms. You can see similar people, similar myconids, going through their everyday process, traveling up and down the stalks of the mushrooms, traveling through and fro. And Ovi looks to you and says, "This is the Lumen Grove. Welcome to our home." And it paints the sky behind you. It is beautiful. And you can't help but just stand there in awe. And that's where we're going to end this episode.
Oh.
So, a little short one to counterbalance the long one last week. But thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. Go ahead and show all the love you can to everybody down in the description. It is a blast, and without anybody, none of this would be possible. So, we love you guys. We hope you guys are staying safe. Enjoy your squirt sticks, and we will see you guys next time. Peace.
Yeah.